if you've been in a long-term monogamous relationship, this chat is for you.
Ooh, it's juicy. Juicy.
If you're in the beginning of a relationship, probably not for you, because guess what? Your passion is really high.
You're all jazzed up to see the person.
Oh yeah, sex is easy. Wanting to have sex is easy. So you don't have like desire issues. But here's the thing. In the beginning of a relationship, passion's high, intimacy and companionship are low. But as time goes on, when you are in a long-term committed relationship, your passion decreases and compassion and companionship and intimacy increases.
Absolutely.
Okay, so for the couples out there who are struggling with their sexual relationship, do not worry. You are in the majority on this one.
That's true.
What is actually, I in quotes, normal, is to have problems in the bedroom.
Yep. People they don't like to talk about it either.
They don't.
It's very like, it's not the 50s.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Come
about
on, guys, let's do it.
Yeah.
In the minority are the people who are having sex like rabbits. Hopefully, this is good news to you. You and your partner are not alone, and there's hope. Like Abby said, most couples struggle with their sexual health and avoid talking about it, even in my office.
They get all embarrassed.
They get really embarrassed.
A lot of shame.
It's a very sensitive topic, and it's hard to broach that.
It is.
It's with each other, let alone a third party present.
So true.
I used to actually put 50 Shades of Grey on my bookshelf to start the conversation because I too felt a bit skittish about asking them. Right. Now I'm not. I'm older and
whenever masturbation, I'm like, so do you masturbate?
Yes.
Like, I'm pretty comfortable because I did work with sex offenders for many years.
Yeah,
but like, I will immediately see the scarlet start at the bottom of the neck all the way up. I'm like, dude, everyone does it.
Everyone does it. I know.
It's okay.
So what we figure out though is that, like anything else in therapy, we've got to talk about things. Yep. So because what is happening inside of the bedroom is often, it's analogous to what's happening outside of the bedroom. So it is really helpful to know these things. And what we do in couples therapies, right, is we deal with the things that they're afraid to talk about. They're afraid to talk about fantasies. They're afraid to talk about what hits their brakes or accelerators for desire arousal, what they like or dislike.
Yes.
And or what they want to try out that's new for fear of hurting their partner.
Right. Or their partner rejecting them. I'd be like, what? You freaky little dinks. Yeah.
Judgment.
Yeah. I'm afraid of being judged.
Judgment. So sex is personal. And we handle it with sensitivity to each person's feelings and a non-judgmental place to explore how to improve your sex life. But in order to do that, there are some myths that we have to debunk to get there.
Sure.
Today, we're going to explore some of those myths.
Welcome to Fit Mind Chats. Get comfortable, join us in our virtual therapy office, and get ready to gain insight into motivation that drives behaviors you don't understand. I'm Abby Speedy, an independently licensed clinical counselor.
And I'm Sarah Delavella, a licensed independent social worker.
We are the owners of Fit Mind Cleveland, a mental health private practice in Cleveland, Ohio, with grounded therapists that are approachable and meet you where you are in life. A place where you can see your strength and grow your greatness.
So, myth number one.
Okay.
Couples do not struggle in the bedroom if they're in a good relationship.
Such a myth. I know people that are fantastic together, but the bedroom is
hard.
The rough spot.
Because, and here's why. So we've all kind of bought a myth that sex is a drive. Sex, there are drives in our world. They are hunger, thirst, temperature control is necessary. Yeah. Meaning, if an oxygen, right? Those are drives. We have to have those things for survival. We do not need sex to survive. Okay, right. So it is not biology, right? It is, so that sort of makes us go, well, then why is it so hard? If we think this is a drive, this is so natural.
Because they said sex drive. I think that the wording has been called sex drive.
Yep.
It's inaccurate.
It's inaccurate. And so I wanted to bring up some statistics because I like some stats. Based on a study by Dr. David Snarch, sampling 20,000 adults. Here's what they found. 12% had no sex in the past year. 21% have had sex several times a year. 34% have sex once or twice a month. 26% have sex once or twice a week. 7% have sex 4 or 5 times a week. So if you're like a rabbit, you are in the clear minority here.
7%.
Only 7%.
I also think people exaggerate their numbers sometimes to make it look good.
I know.
It's like keeping up with the Joneses.
Yes. I think with their friends, they definitely do. Hopefully in their therapist's office, they're being more honest.
Right.
Right? Because
I feel like my friends are more honest about it. They'll talk about like, oh, yeah, we've done it in weeks.
Yes.
They'll bring that up and you're like, That's refreshing.
It's refreshing.
Because, you're opening that door that everyone will be like, oh, yeah, we have that issue too. Or they'll be like, oh, my God, we do it every night.
I know.
And everyone's like crickets.
Yeah, because the vast majority are like, well,
that's not true.
Yeah, it's not happening. And there's the issue of desire. And this is the thing. 35% almost always have sexual desire problems before they have sex. That's the want to have sex. Another 25% usually have desire problems. So right there, we've got 60% of people who have sexual desire problems. And then another 20% of them, it's more intermittent. They have some problems with desire kind of on an intermittent basis. Right. Only 9% rarely do. And 6% would say that they're Energizer bunnies and they never have desire problems and are ready to keep going. That is 6%.
How many 6% have you met? I have not met many.
Not many.
I don't think I've met any.
Actually, that's a really good question. I don't think I've met many.
And you're a couples counselor.
And I'm a couples counselor.
It'd be more odd for me to have like that. I've had people that have been addicted to sex, but that's not a drive, that's an addiction.
Yeah.
And it's usually substituting another addiction.
Yes, absolutely.
They're putting that in play.
And it's compulsive, which is, it's different than just like, I want to have sex or I need, wanting a higher frequency is not really the problem.
Yeah.
So I think the first step that we do is we have to normalize.
Yeah.
Okay, that there's
a
difference in need for sex. You will always have a high need person in your relationship, and you'll have a low need person.
Absolutely.
If you want sex twice a week and your partner wants sex once a month, then your partner is the low need and you are the high need. But you could be in a relationship with someone else and they want it 4 to 5 times a week, and now you're the low need.
Now you only want it twice a week.
Yes, because you only want it twice. So this is true of every couple. There is always going to be a high need and there's always going to be a low need partner.
I also feel like, and this is like, I feel like males come in stereotypical and be like, I would do it every day. Yeah, that's what because I feel like they feel like they're supposed to. But like as you age, the drive decreases, right? Like I mean, and that's like something that's real like hard to talk about. I think for my individual guys to talk to me at therapy about, and I'm like, it is not a big deal. This is so normal. It's biological. Yes. There's science backing why this is happening, but I feel like, especially in our era, our generation, like it was really like normalized that men want sex all the time, and that they're getting it everywhere they can, and it's like that's not always the case. So I feel like that also causes this embarrassment and this shame. Yes. Guys are like, well, I'd like it twice a week and be happy. I'd like it once a week and I'd be happy, and they don't say that because they feel like that makes them look
a man somehow.
Yeah, they look like they're low need.
Yes, and what often happens when you have issues with sex is that the low need partner is blamed as a like that they're withholding, that maybe they're like doing it on purpose just to cause pain for the other partner, and then the low need partner might look at the high need partner and go, "You're a sex crazed addict." Right. You know what I mean? You're a maniac. And now we've got an issue that they're like fighting each other instead of putting this problem outside of themselves and saying, no, let's just accept that I'm high need, you're low need. Let's figure out how do we have good sex.
Right. I feel like there's hurt feelings too. I feel like when the low need person is low need, it hurts the high needs person because they feel undesirable. Really they feel unattractive. They feel like, oh, my partner doesn't want me. They don't like how I have sex with them. And that's not the truth. It's just some people have a lower drive. Yeah, lower need for it.
You bring up the most important piece, which is a reflected sense of self and people taking it very personally, meaning I am only, like if my partner gives me good feedback, then I'm okay. If they don't want to have sex, then I am not desirable. I'm not wanted. They don't love me. This is a big problem between couples.
It's it's also with self-esteem.
Yes.
Like I know certain, I have certain female clients that feel like they have to have sex to feel wanted, attracted, needed, like feel like they're
good
enough, like they're, like they're the hot girl. And it's like, I always try to say when girls like kind of come in and they're like, I hook up a lot, blah, blah, blah. Okay, do you do that because you want to?
Yeah.
Because that's something that fulfills your need, or do you do that to get acceptance?
Is that about the validation?
Yeah, the validation you get from that you are hot, that you are desirable, that guys do like you.
Yes.
If it's for that reason, then we need to work on other ways for you to, build yourself up. But if you're doing it because you're like, hey, it feels good.
Yep.
I'm not hurting anybody. Yep. I'm having safe sex. I am doing it because I want to do it.
I enjoy it.
Have at it.
I agree.
Like I tell girls all the time, like I feel like a slut.
Yeah.
And I come back, I'm like, if you were a man,
Yeah.
would you feel like a slut?
I know. I agree with that.
You know, like
I know.
if the answer is no, then
Different
like, you know,
roles.
equal, it's equal basis right now.
Yes,
Like,
it
I mean, like, and if you like it and want it and it's safe and you agree and the other person agrees,
There's consent.
yeah, there's consent there.
Yep.
And there's no power plays, and it's because it feels good. But if you're doing it because, you know, like, oh, that guy didn't want to have sex with me, I feel terrible about myself. Or, oh, I feel so good about myself. It's a short-term gain.
Yep.
Because long-term, if you did that just to get that validation, you're going to feel crappy about yourself.
I totally agree. And
I get it all the
usually,
time.
there's reasons even with married couples that they like barter sex. We were talking
Oh,
about
we
that.
start with the bartering of?
Like, if I give this, then I'll get this.
Right.
And then we get really hard feelings around that.
Well, you gave me a good example of the wife that's like, ooh, I'm going to go shopping tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have sex tonight, so when I tell him what I spent,
Yeah.
he's
He'll be like, so post-coital, like,
right
okay.
after, yeah.
Like, after
right
the orgasm, he's like, okay,
I spent
whatever.
$600 on the
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. That's pretty solid planning on her part. A little manipulative.
Way to think it through. I mean,
but not the most healthy way to handle that.
Right.
And part of what we do this is that we want them to like come together and see sex as a shared problem for them to solve together versus we're on opposite teams.
Yeah.
We do not want to continue on the opposite side of the bench. Like, we're on the same team here.
Right.
We're all trying to get good sex for you guys.
And I think the vulnerability of it too. Like,
Yes.
I want to go back to like partners asking for what they want.
Yes.
It's a real vulnerable spot.
You are hitting.
My hit some spots.
You hit a myth
My
right
myth?
here.
Where's the myth?
Okay, so are you ready? Because you hit on something even when you said what women expect of themselves, what men expect of themselves.
Oh.
So
I think I see
this
it.
is the myth. All women want blah, blah, blah. All men want blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Here's the thing. You cannot overgeneralize like all men want sex all the time.
Yeah.
Like you said, all women are the withholders of sex all the time. Also not true. So a lot of women like things and they are like, and they want to share it with you, and men like things and they want to share it with you. Mm-hmm. But you have to ask yourself, is the map in my head, which could be based on other people even, it could be based on what you've read, and not in like Cosmopolitan magazine.
Oh yeah.
Like how many magazines articles are like what men really want, what women really want.
Yeah, and they give you
like,
the quiz.
The quiz.
The quiz means nothing. Any
Guys,
quiz you take in a
just don't
magazine
do it.
is not a clinical.
No.
Not a clinical assessment.
And this is not written by a psychologist. I can promise you that. Almost promise you that.
Right. It's usually of the author.
It's usually some like young person who thinks it's fun to write about this.
Yeah.
That's great. I think it's fun.
It's fun.
But you have to be able to sit down and say, here's my expectation, what I think women want, or men. Mm-hmm. These are my the stereotypes, which I sometimes operate off. But does that fit your terrain? So Emily Nagoski, who I love, you should read her book, Come As You Are. She talks about the map doesn't always fit the terrain. Meaning there's been research done on only males that they tried to apply the male experience to a female sexual identity, right?
Okay.
That doesn't work because women are different than men and men are different than women. So her point being, look, you might have a map in your head, that map might be wrong. That's part of the problem. That could be part of your problem. So ask questions. What do you like? What turns you on? What do you fantasize about?
Right.
And only do that if you're willing to be non-judgmental. Because if you're going to be like, that's disgusting.
What? Are you kidding me?
Yes, then that's not a...
it's gonna take you back years. I also think that map goes back to the stereotypes of women.
It does.
You know, like, this girl has sex with some boys, some men.
Yes.
What a slut.
Yes.
That guy has sex with girls every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe the entire week. What a rock star.
What a man.
Yeah, and like it's not always like that. And I feel like those get in the way of healthy sexual relationships. I think like the girl I'm thinking of, like, she's completely healthy with it.
Yes.
She enjoys sex.
Yeah, or like that. I don't know if everyone knows like how orgasms happen, but typically it's not from actual penetration. Right. So like, especially young people,
right?
Like you want to also talk about like what for that person actually gets them there,
right? Are they getting there?
And are they getting there?
Sometimes I've had people in my office that have talked about that. They've never gotten there.
Lots of people fake.
Yeah, and you're like, no, that's not the feeling. Like, not to make you feel bad, but there's more to that.
There's more to it. And you're not quite there.
Right.
And you maybe need to figure out your own terrain.
Yeah.
So
you can coach your partner in your terrain.
So that you can coach them. And you need to know what your body does and what it is and like what you need.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I
so
would
that you
agree
can
with
share that.
100%. It's going to make it more fun.
Well, I also talk to them about brakes and accelerators. What turns them on? So that's the accelerator. What turns them off? That is the brakes.
Yes.
What hits your brakes?
I think you have to be really careful on how you word the brakes.
Yep.
Because you'll get real hurt.
Yes. Because if you think of it in terms of, so in like there's a dual control model with your nervous system, parasympathetic, sympathetic. Yeah. The same thing exists for arousal. Oh. So it is not, I mean, and it is personal to the person. Like there are plenty of people who will say, if my kids are home, forget about it. Right. My brakes get hit right away.
Can't do it.
If they're like, I'm out, the kids will not be home all night, that might hit their accelerator and it frees their brakes up. Right. So it's like, and then the accelerator is like, well, I really like it when we go out and we have like a wonderful conversation at dinner. Like that's one of I love having great conversation with you. That's an accelerator. Or
you getting rock star drunk.
Yes.
Put the brakes on. Because you know what's going to happen there? Nothing, because he's going to not be able to do anything and you're going to be there all night long. Mm-hmm. So and that might, if someone's like, no, if you drink too much, that's going to hit my brakes. Right. Your partner needs to know that. Yeah. Your partner needs to know that. It's not, like that's a problem.
That's a big problem.
It is, for sure. And I feel like the brakes and accelerators, like sometimes it's smell. It smells a big one. Like sometimes, like people don't like the other person's scent. Other times they do.
Yes.
And I think you can look at, I mean, there's other reasons why people don't like certain smells, but like that can be a big break, and being sensitive to how you word that.
Yes. What we also find is that if your partner's struggling with anxiety and depression outside of the bedroom, that could affect how they feel in the bedroom. So there's like context, like things like what's going on in your environment. You could have financial stressors. It could be like you're out of a job. That could affect your desire.
You don't feel desirable because your self-esteem is.
Yes. But also, like, let's say you're dealing with anxiety or depression and it changes. This is how we use this information so that your partner, the other partner, is not taking it personally, that they are not good enough, that they're not attractive enough, that they're not enough, whatever, enough.
Right. Because when they personalize, it's when the problems happen. They don't feel good. They don't feel good about themselves. Starts to question, then they get angry, and maybe that comes out towards you.
Yes.
Because it's not resentful. It's the secondary feeling, because like it's hurt. It's feeling like I'm not good enough.
Yes.
I'm gross.
When you appropriately put like the person's their needs and their like desire level or arousal, what turns them on is about them. It is not really about you.
Right. Absolutely. And if you can compartmentalize that, I usually don't say, hey, let's compartmentalize. But there are certain things that you can put in a compartment and you're like, okay, that's not me. Yeah, it's not me.
I mean,
the situation. And
I think that can be helpful to get everyone kind of on the same playing field of let's stop blaming each other. Right. Let's look at how it currently is affecting you. Like maybe you're walking around really angry at your partner because you haven't had sex in a long time and you don't know how to talk about it. Now we're fighting about lots of other things. No one's feeling understood. No one's feeling like really heard. So like, this is how, in the context of a couples therapy session, you're considering like what's going on inside the bedroom too.
For sure.
Because that matters.
It does matter.
So the other myth would be my partner should want sex spontaneously. Yeah.
If he doesn't, then I'm just like not cute. I'm not attractive.
I'm not enough.
I'm not sexual. Yeah. I'm not sexually desirable.
Yes. What we tend to find, this is a myth, right? So a lot of people do experience spontaneous desire. That's like when you see somebody and maybe they look really good to you and you immediately kind of feel like that. Ooh. Yeah. But there are plenty of people that never happens for.
Right. That's
so they don't experience spontaneous.
Well, it's not visual. There's people that aren't visual.
They're not visual.
Yeah. Like I think that's a thing that should come into play. We are wired a certain way, whether it be verbal, visual, tactile. And if the person's not visual, they may never have that like, oh, he's hot.
Yes.
That initial gut like, oh.
Exactly. They, though, and this is the other thing about long-term committed relationships, what happy couples are doing, though, is they're relying on responsive desire. Right. Which is lay down together, touch each other, not necessarily in a sexual way, but just like look at each other. And it allows to rev up that like engine, so to speak, so they get there, and they often do. Right. It's worth that effort because then you rely on the responsive desire to build so that then you're like both into it.
Right. And also I think we need to address that. Like maybe sometimes it doesn't happen.
And that's okay.
Like maybe it's like, oh my God, like I'm laying here.
Yes.
I'm so tired, or like,
Yes.
oh, I'm so distracted because I'm thinking about my
I-
grocery list, or like
Yes.
whatever, like my day at work, or whatever it might be, some stress. So I mean, and having that conversation with their partner too, because they may think they'll perceive it as rejection. And it's like, I'm not
That's
rejecting
exactly
you.
right. That's exactly right.
I'm simply I'm in a spot where I can't focus right now, and that's a thing too. Like, I just can't focus.
Yes, that's a fact.
I'm unfocused.
You have to be able to mentally shift between what your day was like,
Right.
and like the stressors, and maybe your boss was awful to you, and like
Yeah.
you had 50 errands you ran, and you're exhausted, and then you're sitting there, and your partner's kind of like, I'm in the mood, and then you're like, I'm not in the mood, and that can lead to a highly anxious moment between the two of you where you're like, I'm not in there. I'm not there yet.
I'm not there yet.
If you can create a space that's like, that's okay, because I know that.
Okay, I know you're not rejecting.
Yeah. 'cause
Nothing
not-
to do with you. Maybe we say that like, this has nothing to
To
do with you.
Mhm.
This is all me. I think that's healthy. But I also think the other side that I see in my office
Yes.
is, and this could be male or females,
Yeah.
that do it even when they're not focused, and then they feel victimized.
Oh, you bring up a really good point.
That's a
real thing.
theme
Yes.
in my office sometimes. Like, I just did it to get it over with. I just did it because
And then
like,
yes,
because I just didn't. I don't know. That
it's just
person,
easier to do it.
yeah, it's
than it is
easier.
to say no.
Yeah, like so then your communication's not.
No, and you start building up that resentment.
Oh,
It's
the
like,
resentment. Yeah, we talked about that in several podcasts.
yes, you can have that. And I don't think, do you think the other partner is really that fulfilled by it? I sometimes ask people that. I'll be like, can they tell that you're
Yeah.
sort of phoning it in?
Right.
Like you're like, kind of just being like, okay.
Right.
I mean, does it hurt that?
Fine.
Because that could potentially hurt the relationship
Oh, it
too.
is.
Like,
Yeah, it would be damaging.
maybe it'd be okay to just say, just can't tonight. The other thing too is, what about when couples are not feeling emotionally connected? They often do not
Yeah,
want
that's so
to.
true.
So yes, there's this element of everyone kind of has their own like sexual script and
Right.
desire level,
Animal
and,
drive.
yeah, and they're
perhaps,
like
yeah. It's,
their desire levels and their frequency wants, but on the other side of this is then this other piece that probably complicates exactly what I'm saying, which is
yes.
sometimes when you are not feeling emotionally connected or heard or respected, you may not want to have sex.
I feel like that happens a lot. Like, you have someone that
Mhm.
just has the drive to want sex,
Yeah.
and the other partner
Mm-hmm.
isn't emotionally connected.
Yes.
And they can't connect to the sexual. It's just, this is an act.
Yes.
They're like, I need that emotional connection. And
Yes.
the other person is like, I just need to have sex. And
And that happens very frequently.
then that's a couples counseling, I believe. Like,
Oh, yes.
let's connect. How do we
Yes.
connect? So this partner's needs are getting met. Then your needs will get met.
Yes, and that is where you shift out of the bedroom too, because a lot of times it's the stuff that was happening in the little ways during the day.
Right.
Like, are you listening? Are you tuning into them? Were you just sitting and watching a show, and then at the very last minute you're about to go to bed and you're like, now I'm paying attention to you? And I've heard that a lot from couples. Like, all of a sudden, oh, now you're like asking me how I am,
Right.
and it's
'Cause
because
you
you
want
want
sex.
sex.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, hell no, I'm not
Right.
having sex.
'Cause I feel like I feel like I've been manipulated.
Now I'm like, look, buddy, I could use some help around here, or
Yeah.
I want you to pay attention to me when you don't want sex from me.
Right.
I'd like to feel seen in
Right.
other ways.
Right.
And that's valid. That is valid. And that is something we deal with all the time.
And I think that also brings up, like,
Yep.
there's times when, like, you're like, oh, I don't know if I take him or her out to dinner, then I'm definitely getting some action. We'll get them
Yeah.
all, looped up on some wine.
Yeah.
That's the bartering. And that's not always healthy either. To
Yes.
always, and then, like, the person's like, you only take me out to dinner,
Because
you won't have sex after.
yes, that's this whole idea of like, let's be really open about the things that we're doing that aren't working, because that
Right.
typically isn't working. I promise you think it might be, but your partner knows you really well. And so if you're lying, like, I have a headache, and they know what that means.
Mhm.
So that's from maybe a guy's perspective. They're like, oh, okay, well, she's not really telling me the truth here. Or from a female perspective, it could be, oh, like, he's just taking me out to dinner because that's really all he wants.
And saying that out loud, be like, I
Yes.
feel like you only take me out or talk to me when you
Yes.
want sex.
And how do you shift that? Esther Perel said that your foreplay begins at the end of your last orgasm. I love Esther Perel. Tune into her. She is the best. She's written multiple books, Mating in Captivity, A State of Affairs, and she's amazing. And she said that your foreplay begins at the end of your last orgasm. What she means is flirt, play with your partner, like be playful with your partner, pay attention to each other. That's foreplay.
Do things together.
Do things together.
Yeah.
We're not talking about like foreplay.
Right.
We're not talking about like sexual foreplay. We're talking about like flirt, pay attention, be in tune.
Right.
Have good conversation.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Yeah, what's going on? How's your day?
Yeah. So
what happened today? Like,
Look, so we started the conversation. These are some myths that we thought would give us a pretty good start. Hopefully, you realize the need to question what you might have considered an absolute truth in the back of your mind. We don't always know that we assume our thoughts are facts, but they aren't. And information is power, and we hope you walk away feeling a bit more empowered today.
Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Fit Mind Chats. We'll see you next Monday for another session. If you have a question or topic covered, follow us on Facebook, Fit Mind Cleveland, or message us. If you'd like to seek out therapy services, go to our website, fitmindcleveland.com, and contact us. Yeah, this is never smooth.
Never smooth.
I guess we'll
if you would please leave us a rating or review and share our podcast with family, friends, enemies, or anyone that needs it. We want to bring mental health access to all the people that can benefit.